Yeah, Frank, I understand the title's going to get people worked up. I get it. But of course, I'll explain. we're rolling. What's going on, sports card hobby family? It's another day. It's another sports card video. Thank you for coming back for another video titled today, My Collection is Better Than Your Collection, or is your collection better than my collection? We're going to talk through all of this. Stick around. Couple of quick housekeeping notes. I have been on Baseball Card Investor Collector Dealer's channel. We have pre-recorded a Price is Right contest that is between me and other content creators. Some of them, may I add, are YouTube Hall of Famers. I am in the finals. I am in the finals against Jeremy the Snowman. The Snowman is the final boss, and he is the partner of Chris, Baseball Card Collector Investor Dealer, when they're out going and buying collections. Check out the latest videos. Actually, the whole series is really fun to watch. Essentially, Chris puts up two cards, and we have to choose which one we think is the most valuable out of these two cards. And it might be an 80s football card versus a 60s baseball card. It's been a fun time, and I am in the finals. The finals air on Saturday on his channel, so make sure to check it out. Big thanks to today's video sponsors, Pristine Auctions. If you use Sports Card Dad promo code on Pristine Auctions website, you get $10 off the first auction that you win. Pristine Auction has an interesting setup. Not only do they have the weekly auctions, but they've got daily, and they also have 10-minute auctions. 2 p.m. 10-minute auctions will start. So it's actually pretty cool how they have this thing set up. I'm bummed. I was trying to win a Trevor Lawrence signed helmet. My son is a big Clemson fan, and Trevor Lawrence being kind of the last big quarterback that was there when they were really winning there at Clemson for the Clemson Tigers. And I lost those. And there was also an Alvin Kamara helmet last night that was signed, but then also had the inscription Lights Kamara Action, as in like lights camera action. I lost all the items. So back to the drawing board, but definitely check out Pristine Auctions. And don't forget that Sports Card Dad code will get you $10 off that first auction win. Also, you want to grade cards, but you're like, man, I wish I knew who the most consistent grading company was with excellent service turnaround times and a wicked slab. It's SGC. Head over to gosgc.com. $15 per sports card to grade. There's no clubs to join and a very quick turnaround time. So check out SGC grading at gosgc.com. All right, this video was inspired actually by a comic book content creator named Sticky Goose Comics. One of my favorites, actually has a great sense of humor. Tough to find sometimes on the www. That's the World Wide Web. This recent video that he did was really good, and it was called My Comic Book Collection is Better Than Yours, or something along those lines. And he reads off a bunch of comments. Man, some of the comic book folks, they really rail on him about all sorts of different things. He reads it off, it's hilarious, and he's able to kind of take it all with a grain of salt, as you have to as a content creator. But the one thing he's really touching on that I thought was an interesting topic, because it certainly rings true in the sports card world when you're running up against different collector groups. I immediately think of the rare 90s cards collectors. You know, the folks that are collecting like the basketball, the rare 90s basketball, and they've got like their Grey Poupon that they're spreading on their sandwich, and they're talking about just how amazing, 90s inserts, the rare 90s inserts are, and just how it's everything. And they're very territorial. And I think that's kind of the word, territorial, about the stuff that you like / collect. Because you hear all the time, collect what you like, collect what you like. The one takeaway I really like that I take away from people that are passionate, that really get in on you about something that they're collecting, well, there's two sides of this. So the one thing is I take away that they are really buying what they enjoy buying. They really enjoy that stuff, and they're passionate about it, and they feel like they need to defend it. The other side of that, though, could be that they've speculated, they've put a lot of money into a specific card or cards, and they're trying to defend their investment or their spec money or whatever that they've put in. I've seen quite a bit of that over the years. I've seen it on both sides. I've seen collector groups that'll just get fiery up about, hey, Dan Marino cards, and they love this or that or whatever. And then I've also seen people that it's very obvious that they feel, I don't know if it's threatened or something by other collecting groups, and so they dive in to just explain how important this, that, or whatever is. But I think either way, however you look at this, all the feedback can be helpful, because what I've seen over the years is there's been instances where I'm buying, let's say, specific sets, specific cards, And I've gotten feedback that maybe the way that it's written is not great. Like maybe they're trying to kind of get at me, or they're trying to, they feel like they're going to get a dig at me. I don't really care. I don't take any of this that seriously. But they will throw out, hey, you should look at this, that, or whatever, or this is better than that. And sometimes people can take that as, oh, you're an idiot. You're just saying that because that's what you collect. But you could also take that as, oh, well, maybe I didn't know about that particular card or set, because that happens all the time. In collectibles, so many different sets, so many different players, so many different things. And someone might throw out there, whether they're trying to be mean to you or not, but they can throw an idea at you. And then you could take a look at it and say, you know what? Even though the guy's kind of a turd, actually was right about that particular card. I actually do like that card that he's got over this one, and so forth. Now, I will say on the card side, people in general, I would say the majority of singles buyers, they are usually happy for other people that are buying into something that they really enjoy. If you're buying something and you really enjoy it, then they're all for it. They'll back you up. Hey, great pickup. That's awesome. Where they get frustrated or get annoyed is when you buy a Grail and then it's for sale the next week, where it's like, I've been wanting this card forever and it's up for sale in 3 weeks, 4 weeks. I mean, really, the way I look at it, and I've got a couple of those Grail cards in quotation marks, or, kind of the big gets, and it's the Star Jordan card and it's the Art de Bart. To me, those are the last cards I'm selling. Those cards get sold. It's because, we're selling everything off. There's been some sort of a disaster and we're selling everything off, whatever. Those would not be even close to the first ones that I move. Those would be the last ones that I move. And sometimes I think that might go against conventional wisdom or against what some people are doing. They're actually getting rid of maybe, their higher end stuff that they know they can get a lot of money for right now, and then maybe keeping some of the lower stuff. I would actually sell off all of my volume, all of my lower stuff before I sell off those couple of cards as it sits. So, but to each their own. Again, that's what kind of makes us fun, is we're all making our own decisions on how we're going to buy, sell, trade, how we're going to move into this to get into that. That's what makes it fun. I also think that this game of card collecting / speculating / investing, however you classify it for yourself, in most cases, you are never going to have the best collection. Now, the best collection could mean different things to each individual. I'm not saying the most valuable collection, because I know for a fact that I will never work up into the most valuable collection. And I think it's really helpful to not compare what I've got against what other people have. They might have completely different means. I've got 4 kids I'm responsible for. They might have 0 kids that they're responsible for. They might be collecting just because they want to build out these particular sets. They're not interested in getting the rookie card for this person or whatever. They have their own kind of lane that they're working in, and that's how they feel success. Nobody should feel lesser than if they are doing it any other way. There's not any one way to do it. But we do live in a competitive world, so whether that's sports cards, sports memorabilia, or anything for that matter. People buying cars, in your neighborhood. Oh, keeping up with the Joneses. Oh man, did you see that Bob got the new Tesla? It's certainly human nature to compete, but at the same time, there is so much cool stuff out there. The most important thing, the most absolutely most important thing, or there's 2 of them, especially if you have dependents, if you have a family, is working within a budget, working within that budget that works for you and your family, not just the budget that works for you, but for everybody. But then also just making sure that the awesome stuff that you're getting, not because, the 60s baseball card group told you that that's a great card to get, or the 2010s football card group or whatever, said, oh, those are the cards to get. It really should come down to you putting in time and research and buying and selling things over time, and then figuring out, okay, these are the ones. Like, this is the set, this is the player, and even for that player, okay, if you're buying Jackie Robinson cards, it's fairly simple-ish compared to modern cards. What does he have, 9 cards, Jackie Robinson? And then, of course, he's got other sets and different things, sets that are more obscure that people aren't aware of, but, for the most part, fairly limited number of cards. You want to get into Tom Brady cards, well, where do you want to start? He's got a zillion different rookie cards, second year, third year, all the rest of it. So you have to decide not just the player, the set, but then which cards of that player, which sets. It's kind of this endless labyrinth of stuff. And so I think that is just such a critical thing. So I don't mind when people get really prideful and they start diving in, digging at me, about my collection, this or this card's better than that, because I'll look at that and say, you know what? This person might have been doing this for a very long time, done a little bit more research than me, or maybe aesthetically, they just like that card better than the look of the one that I like. That happens all the time, but I'm not going to go get the other card because that person thinks aesthetically it's better than this one I was looking at. I'm going to look at it and I'm going to pick the one that I want. And I just think it's very critical in the competitive world that we're in. And hey, look, I think that competition is great. I don't think being competitive is bad. I just think that it can be bad if you're trying to compete with others that either A, are in a much higher tax bracket than you, or B, because you're trying to fit into a group. Oh yeah, I'm going to buy into this so I can fit into your Barry Bonds collector group or whatever it is. You know, your Mickey Mantle group, your Karl Malone collectors group. There's not a Karl Malone collectors group, I'm just kidding. But you get the point. It's just a constant reminder that this is your deal, it's our deal, and we do whatever we want. All right, my friends, stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.